was showing people how to use AI, how to use it in their office, how to reduce time and energy with using ChatGPT by building your avatar, doing all your research through it, building your patient journey, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. What jobs don't have to be done in the office? And I said, and there's a lot of them, but for whatever reason, dental has just held on to a lot of these jobs that they think should be done in the office, and it could be done outside the office. And these two dentists said they were not happy. It was the worst experience that I ever had.
Mindset that I feel like has got to shift in dental is that so many dental offices these days still hire for experience. Show me your experience and then we can hire you. So training is a function in every business that needs to happen that is something that I feel like nobody ever does right.
First step of training is documenting, which is the SOP. Taking live calls, watching them, and talking through them. And this is something that dental doesn't ever do. And I think it's a huge lack and why a lot of things don't work. But we record every client interaction and we record every sales call. Every communication point and every call is recorded. We then put that into a software that is AI. I'm working on an LMS for dental offices. Welcome back to another episode of Dental Rift. I'm your co-host, Gary Bird. I'm the founder of SMC National, where we help you create, convert, and close more new patients so you can grow the way that you want.
My name is Tanner Applegate. I am the CEO and founder of Unify. We are a platform bringing all of your different tools into one single place to make your life so much easier.
Awesome. So we got 4 really good topics. So we got AI and ortho and why it's not working right now. And we have an event that I just hosted this weekend in LA. And I got challenged pretty hard by some dentists there. I'd love to talk through that with you, Tanner. And then we have a topic around training, which I think is really important to talk about, especially right now with staffing and those kind of things. Training's huge. And then lastly, which state has the most dentist versus which state has the least dentist? I think it's based on population. So which one do you want to tackle first?
I want to hear how the event went.
Absolutely. So we've been doing these little mini events, just smaller rooms, 30 to 50 people, kind of traveling around the country and doing these. This one was an all-on sale, so it was around operationally what to do with these new patients that are coming on and that want larger treatment. When I say larger treatment, I mean over $20,000, and a lot of that just hinges on your team's capability to present and to explain value in a very clear way. And one of the things that I brought up, I was showing people how to use AI, how to use it in their office, how to reduce time and energy with using ChatGPT by building your avatar, doing all your research through it, building your patient journey, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And one of the things that came up, I said, look, one of the things you guys need to be doing is figuring out what jobs don't have to be done in the office. And I said, and there's a lot of them, but for whatever reason, dental's just held on to a lot of these jobs that they think should be done in the office, and it could be done outside the office. And these two dentists said they were not happy. They basically said, I have already done this. I outsourced to the Philippines. It was horrible. It was the worst experience that I ever had. And so I asked them questions. I said, did you refer to, was it just like a call center, or did you hire somebody and train them and implement a system? And they were like, yeah, no, it was just a third party. And I was like, well, yeah, of course it's going to suck, right? Like chances of that sucking are very high. But if you do this properly with outsourcing, you get somebody who's on your team, you integrate them into your systems and into your culture, you can do it effectively and at a fraction of the cost. And I've seen it done. I've personally seen it done. And they really pressed me on this, Tanner. They were like, no, I don't know if it can be done. And so anyways, I was just curious of your point of view on this particular topic.
One mindset that I feel like has got to shift in dental is that so many dental offices these days still hire for experience, right? Show me your experience and then we can hire you. And I'm like, no, because if you're hiring based off of experience, you are still leaving it up to them of how things are done. And chances are there's a reason why they're on the job market.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the problem. And so they're sitting there hiring for the Philippines. Yeah. If you're going to hire for experience from the Philippines, there's no way it's going to work out because they don't know how dental works in the US.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you are structured enough to be able to say, hey, let me hire you and I'll teach you how it needs to be done, that's where success comes in. So I think that the idea of experience hiring, and a lot of people literally cannot fathom that there's a different way to hire, right? hire for a skill set, hire for a personality, and then train and give them the experience.
Hey, Happy New Year, and thanks so much for listening to the podcast. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I got something really, really important to share with you that's going to bring massive impact to your practice. So every year, things change in your market. Every single year, people move, incomes change, populations change, and it's really important that you stay up to date with that. And one of the things that we offer to all of our customers, and we want to offer it to all of our listeners completely for free, is mapping out your new patients. So we're not going to only show you where your new patients are coming from on a map, just like this above, but we're also going to show you the income areas that they're coming from, the different pockets of income, as well as the populations to make sure that you have supporting areas to where you can attract more new patients. And lastly, we're going to map out all of your competition for you for free. This is 100% for free, no obligation. And we're really excited to share this with all of our listeners. So all you have to do is go to maps.smcnational.com, and it's first come, first serve. We're not going to offer this forever. So if you want to get this, get in now, get all your new patients mapped out for the new year. We're looking forward to talking to you soon. Thanks. Yeah, and that's what I tried to explain, and they were not happy about it. And I literally told him, Tanner, I was like, I would challenge your belief system. Like, I would challenge your belief because he clearly believes something that he'd experienced, and he was like, that's the end all. And I said, I've seen this work. I've seen it work personally, especially on the phones and some of these other things like there's so many other things that you can use this for. So dental still, what this showed me though, Tanner, is why dental's so stuck, right? Because if you have to hire somebody for $5,000 to $6,000 a month all in with insurance and taxes and all, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, it makes it very hard to grow because you might not need all that cost to get the job done. And so you end up stuck and you end up not answering your phones, which is crazy to me.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I honestly, it's also a big opportunity. And it's the reason why the industry is moving to consolidation, is because if you're not going to take advantage of those opportunities to reduce your overhead, somebody else will.
Yep, exactly. Okay, so let's what do you want to tackle next? So we got the I got the stuff on AI and ortho, and then training, and then the states with the most and least amount of dentists.
Let's do the states. This is interesting to me.
Okay.
So this is number of dentists per 100,000 population, right? So let's start with the least populated states. I'll give you 10 guesses to, well, how many? 10 guesses to get the 5?
So it's per capita?
Per capita.
Okay, so I got to go Alaska. Alaska's not on there?
Not on the least.
What? Okay, I'm going to guess Arkansas.
Ding. Okay, you got one.
Let's go. Okay. Okay, so are the rest in that region, that southern Alabama?
You can say that. Let me pull this up real fast. Okay, Alabama, Arkansas. Those are 2 of the 5.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So Alabama, Arkansas. What are some other state? Louisiana?
No, Louisiana.
Okay. Let me pull up a map to look at this. Is there any in the Northeast?
Geography. There's one in the Northeast.
Let me see if I can get that one.
The number one least and the number one most.
Rhode Island? Rhode Island in
Rhode
Northeast?
Island.
No, Rhode Island. Ooh, Maine or New Hampshire?
No, Maine or New Hampshire.
Vermont?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm not. Yeah, that wouldn't be it. All right, so I'm going to go back down to the south here. Mississippi?
Mississippi's.
Georgia?
Georgia's number 5. So we got 5 Georgia, 4 Mississippi, 3 Arkansas, 2 Alabama. We're
Missouri?
Number 1.
Missouri?
It's in the Northeast.
Northeast. It's not Pennsylvania. Ohio?
That's not in the Northeast.
Okay, so there's Maryland, Delaware.
Ding.
Delaware. Okay.
Delaware is the least populated. And I think that's a little bit of cheating because honestly, I don't think that people in Delaware always necessarily get services provided in Delaware.
Oh, they travel because it's so small, right? Because they're next to Maryland, they're next to New Jersey, they're next to Pennsylvania. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, is West Virginia on the list?
No.
Okay. Kentucky?
No, I don't know. We already did the top 5. That's all I know are the top 5.
Oh, okay. So those are the least populated. Now let's look at the least
populated.
Now let's do the most
populated.
And this is done by state, right?
This is done by state.
So I'm going to go Arizona.
Nope.
Florida?
Not on the list.
Dude, California?
California is number 3.
Okay, Hawaii?
Hawaii's number 4.
Oh, Utah.
No Utah.
What?
That's surprising now that you say that.
That's
That is
crazy. Okay, where's the rest of them? What part of the country?
We got another one in the Northeast and one that you've already mentioned.
So is it New York?
And one is very close to home for me. No New York.
New York, Colorado?
Colorado's number 5.
Okay. Why Colorado though? Why would that's so weird?
It's because it's such a lot of people are wanting to live here.
Why?
Like it's one of those states.
It's just it's hot right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Maryland, Washington D.C. There's a lot of dentists there. North Carolina. No.
More
Wow.
north.
Okay. More north. Okay. Virginia.
More north.
More Maryland. New York or New Jersey.
More north.
More north. Oh, okay. I already said it. Vermont.
No.
Connecticut.
No.
Okay, bro, just give it to me. I don't know.
Massachusetts.
Whoa.
And that's Boston. Boston's super densely populated. And the number
Got it.
one, which is the reason this is the one that surprised me the most. What was your number one guess for the least populated?
Alaska.
That's the most populated.
How? Oh, help me understand. Like, what? There's barely anybody that lives there.
That's the problem. They probably were like, we don't actually have 100,000 population, and so we're just going to chalk it up. No, I don't know. And
they have
and I think
they have 700,000 there.
I think it's probably due to the fact that a lot of people that live in Alaska may not live there year round. And so dentists that are there seasonally as well. They get counted as a dentist, but the population is going to be a lot smaller.
Yeah. There's only 700,000 people there. That's crazy. Okay. Let's talk through the training. I want to hear about what's going on with it.
Yeah, so training is a function in every business that needs to happen, that is something that I feel like nobody ever does right? But what's amazing is that because nobody ever does it right, why is it not really ever solved? And so traditional training, right, is the let's sit one-on-one and I'll dump all of my knowledge onto you. The good things about this is that it usually sticks a lot better because you have somebody kind of transferring that knowledge. But the bad thing about it is A, it's not scalable, and B, you can't necessarily control inequality, because if you've got 20 people teaching you all the same thing, those 20 people are not going to teach the same. Right. And so they've got things like people always next stage of development and training is let's do SOPs, and we'll just hand people SOPs and then they'll follow the SOPs. We all know that never works because nobody actually reads an SOP to train. They read an SOP to learn in the moment. How do I do something that I've already learned? Right. So within the training world, how do you guys do training, and how successful has it been for you and your team?
So some things in our company get trained really well and some don't. So what I think there's like this always like this process, right, that you go through of learning. So the first step of training is documenting, which is the SOP. And then you think, oh, okay, I got all this training. We have like thousands and thousands and thousands, not exaggerating, of SOPs. So then it's like, now we can't find anything because there's so many SOPs, right? So then you need to go through and you need to organize them. So then we have like 100 training, 200, 300, 400, 500, all the way up. And it depends on, what kind of training it is. And those are all organized now. And then from there, you then need to, the best thing from there. So now that you have all this training, you have all the information, go through and use it. Then you have to use specific training, and specific training is best utilized, in my experience, on taking calls, live calls, watching them, and talking through them. And this is something that dental doesn't ever do. And I think it's a huge lack in why a lot of things don't work. So I'll give some real life examples of what we've done. So we record every client interaction and we record every sales call, from end to end, right? That's my point. Whether somebody's starting with us or offboarding with us and everything in between, every communication point and every call is recorded. We then put that into a software that is AI. So we can search all of that by keyword. So I can go in and say, anywhere that it's mentioned XYZ keyword, I can pull that up and it will pull every single call that has that keyword in it that was spoken. Then from there, we can add in playbooks into our CRM, and the playbooks have the scripting of what people are supposed to follow. And then the AI picks up if people are following the playbooks or not. And so now when someone doesn't follow the playbook, or they say the thing they're not supposed to say, or say it at the wrong time, whatever, it's triggered. And then we can review that with them. And then we call it game tape, right? So then I can sit down with you, Tanner, and say, all right, Tanner, let's watch this call together. Okay, so right here, the client said this. Why did you respond this way? Oh, because, 3 calls ago, they said this. Okay, that makes sense. Here's some scripting to help around that. That'll help you next time. And we do this in a group setting. So everybody in that department's getting the benefit of this nuanced thing. And so that's kind of how we've thought through training for our company.
I think that training is great. This is the people-to-people connection, which is one of the hardest to train. So kudos to that. I mean, that seems like you guys have put a lot of time and energy into it. What about, though, the tactical things, right? How do we create a website, or even something like in the dental office, like how do we bill out? Because people think that they know how to bill, but they're all doing it very differently and getting very mixed results, right? And so when it's not people to people, which again, I think you guys have an amazing system, what does the training structure look like there?
Well, that would be where the SOP comes in, how to build a website as an example.
Okay.
Yeah, so there would be a step-by-step, here's the things that matter in this particular instance for the website. The phone number.
SOPs work for you that you can train people off of SOPs.
Yeah, but then there becomes a person to person, like you said. Okay. There usually has to come in a person somewhere along the lines has to come in, but then we have somebody who goes behind that and updates the SOP. But yeah, when we onboard somebody, they get a lot of training. We used to be like, and I'm sure a lot of our listeners can relate to this. We used to onboard people and it was like, you get no training. Here you go. You know what I mean? And it was like, that caused massive problems. So, but I think there's stages, because you can't do training without an SOP, right? Like you can, but you're just kind of spinning your wheels. You're just going to do it over and over and over and over again. But if you have that SOP and you have that point of reference, and then it's organizing the SOP and then putting it in a house to easily access. That's kind of how I think through it.
There's three types of SOPs, and this is what I train people on. Is that you have the 0 to 1 training, which is I don't know anything and I need to learn everything. Then you have the just-in-time training, which is I've already learned it, but I don't remember how to do a specific thing. What do I reference? And then there's the change management of, hey, we used to do things this way, but now we need to do things this way, and we need to make sure that everyone is on the same page about this change in process, right? And so those three, the just-in-time, SOPs are great for just-in-time, right? Oh, I forgot how to do it. Let me quickly reference. Okay, yeah, this is what it is. I remember that now. But the 0 to 1, that's where things are terrible. And that's where people still fall back in it and rely on the person to person, which is good, supported by SOPs, but still not totally scalable.
So let me give you a little hack on that I've seen work really well.
Ooh,
so in your SOP, to get that somebody's brand new and it's like how to build a website or how to answer the phones or whatever, right? So what you can actually do is you can take the SOP and then so I call it the letter of the law versus the spirit of the law. So the letter of the law is like, you got to follow this scripting. But the spirit of the law is like, well, not really. You don't have to follow it exactly. You're just trying to get this basic information and meet the patient's needs, right? And so you can't really articulate. It's really hard to articulate that in writing, but you can articulate it in a video. So what we'll do is we'll create an SOP. Here's how to answer your phones. Here's a step-by-step. And then here's a video at the top of Gary or whoever else explaining the SOP from the spirit of the law rather than the letter of the law. And so you can just watch that real quick. It's a 5-minute thing rather than try to read through it and learn it. That has worked really, really well for me.
What are you doing for knowledge testing?
We have a little test, like, so we'll put it in a learning LMS, and then they do a little test at the end, like, what is the correct way to do da-da-da-da.
Yeah, and I think that your learning testing is done on those phone calls that you're doing, but but on the other stuff, yes, you. And also,
when people realize that their work, so like if you're building a website, it's going to be judged by the client, by everybody, and there's problems, then that creates a lot of problems and a lot of backlash for you. So you want to get it right, and then but even more so, what most people don't realize is the positive peer pressure of reviewing calls with your peers is no joke. Like, it works. Everything's retained. The retention has gone through the roof when we do it that way. So when we started to do it, we used to just do it like for sales and stuff like that. But then we was like, no. We're going to role play. We're going to watch this, and then we're going to we're going to say what was right, what was wrong about it. And then we're going to role play about it on every single interaction by department. Here's how this department should behave, like respond. Here's how this department should respond. That's been huge, like humongous.
That's awesome. That's a good
major idea. Retention with that.
Yeah, that'd be really helpful if you're grading a group of people, because then you're not just learning your mistakes, but you're learning everyone else's too.
And when you get on the next call, right? If you're at the front desk and you flub a call and then you have to listen to it with the peers, say what you got right, what you got wrong, and then you get on and you review that. The next time you answer that phone, you don't want to have that experience again on that call. You want to get it right. Like I've just noticed the retention goes through the roof when you're in that environment, rather than a one-on-one or just a mention. Hey, Tanner, can you please make sure to do this when you answer your phone?
Or even worse, which is, I'm not going to point fingers or say any names, but we need to do this differently.
Yeah.
And everyone thinks it's somebody else, and nobody changes.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. Here's one. Here I got something I'm working on. I haven't actually shared this with you, so I won't share all the details because I haven't launched it yet. But so I'm working on an LMS for dental offices, for groups specifically, and it's called I won't give it the name yet, but basically what we're doing is we're working with experts. So I'll define an expert. An expert is somebody who's actually doing the thing in the DSO, right? So I've already started to build some of these. So I go we did one on treatment presentation for full arch. So I went and found somebody who does 60 arches a month that they sell. And I said, okay, can I come in and document your process? We went into their office. I documented their whole process. And then I went in and recorded an LMS with them. And we did modulars. We did 4 different tracks with modulars underneath it. Here's all the things you need. Here's the paperwork that you need. Like, we pieced the whole thing together. And then now we have this LMS. Here's how to do this. Is you can implement this. And we're planning on going through every single department, everything from clinical leadership to RCM to marketing to IT. But we're going to have, besides legal's the only one that I don't want somebody winging it. But we're going to bring these experts in, and then we're helping them framework what they've been doing to teach other people. So that's something that we're launching next year, and I'm just going to launch them one at a time and then roll them all up into one big company. But the purpose of it is, number one, to train my team. So my team will be watching these to learn, like, here's why revenue cycle management is such a pain, and here's why it's so important that we do different things as a marketing company, but then also to train our clients as well, because the more they can get up to speed, the easier it is for a marketing company.
I mean, I can just save you a bunch of time, and you can go just get Brian Cleo to do all of
them. That's awesome. That would be awesome.
Cool. That's awesome, man. Well, that's exciting. I mean, it's something that's been on my mind recently. It sounds like you guys have put a lot of time and energy into it. I'm interested to see what your next iteration is, but that's awesome. What was the last thing that you...
Oh, yeah. We'll do that one really quickly. So I'll pull up this article here and show it to you. So, all right. So this study, it was very limited. The study was very small. It was a small group. So I'll say that. And it was also... they use a lot of dental jargon, so there's stuff in here I don't understand, with like the degrees of their teeth and this kind of stuff I don't get. But long story short, what they did was they said, hey, we're going to launch a program where we take 24 people who did ortho or clear aligners in office, with somebody monitoring the movement of the teeth and telling them when to level up their next trays, versus someone just staying at home and nobody really paying attention, and you just taking a picture and sending it in. And they use some other technology that they had around AI to see where the teeth are at. And the results of the ones done at home, surprise, surprise, were not anywhere in the ballpark of the ones that weren't done at home. And so they're telling people we need to pump the brakes on the whole do it at home, do it yourself. and we'll just kind of have AI monitor you through the process versus someone doing it in the office and watching the process.
What's interesting to me about that, though, is that is not like Smile Direct Club. They're not talking about Smile Direct Club.
No.
They're talking more about dental monitoring or those other ones. That's fascinating that was a negative outcome.
Yeah, it was only with 30 people, so it was very small.
Link.
Huh?
Send me that link.
Yep, you got it. Yeah, it was only 30 people. It was 30 versus 24, so it's not this huge sample size, but it was the results were so much different that it was big enough for them to start talking about it and saying, this is bad. This we shouldn't be doing. We need to pump the brakes on this.
Because then as a provider, you start relying too much on the AI and it's going to produce negative clinical outcomes.
Yeah, and I think there's a world where it's like in my head, and again, I couldn't understand a lot of the clinical speak in it, but basically it's like the patient, you can use AI, but you still need somebody proofing this in the office and getting eyes on it. There isn't a good enough way to see this stuff from home yet.
Right.
Which may change in the future with scanners. Maybe like I can imagine in the future, the way technology gets cheaper over time, it's deflationary. Someone could eventually get a scanner that plugs into your phone and scans your mouth that does give you super accurate scans to the dental office, but we're not anywhere near something like that. Those scanners are very expensive.
Not the scanners necessarily, but they do have a lot of like actually pretty impressive monitoring equipment that gives you like consistency in how you're scanning your mouth. But you're right, it's not a full-blown digital rendering of your mouth.
Yeah. Yep. Awesome, man. Well, good talk.
All right, chat with you soon.
Peace.